Hi there guys, welcome to Online Driving Academy. Today we're going to be looking at learner's license test questions, and I will be adding detailed diagrams in order to explain these answers. Trust me guys, you don't want to miss this. Let's get started. Question 1. Is a load that is placed on the roof of your vehicle allowed to touch the road surface? Is it option A, yes? Is it option B, no? Or is it option C, only if you drive a bakkie? Now let's think about this carefully, right? Let's think about a vehicle. It can be a hatchback, a sedan, or even a bakkie. And let's say you have a load on top. Let's say it's a mattress. Is that mattress allowed to touch the road surface? Let's think about it. Obviously, if it's going to touch the road surface, not only will it be a hazard to you as a driver, but it will also be a hazard to other road users. So obviously the answer will be no. So the correct answer here would be option B, no. A load that is placed on the roof of your vehicle cannot touch the road surface. Question 2. Are you allowed to have a load that exceeds 3 meters in height from the ground? Now this is the type of question where you will have to know the exact details in order to get the correct answer. So obviously you would have to know the height that a load cannot exceed. Obviously a height that is measured from the ground. So is it option A? No. 3 meters is the max height allowed. Is it option B? Yes. Or is it option C, only on weekends? Now because we are looking at the height of a load that is measured from the ground, the correct answer in this question will be option B, yes. Remember, 3 meters is not the limit, right? You are allowed to go above 3 meters. Now the next question will go even deeper on this topic. Question 3. Can you have a load that exceeds 4.3 meters in height from the ground? Again, we are measuring the height from the ground. Is it option A? Yes. Option B? No. Or is it option C, only on weekends? Now the number is increased to 4.3 meters. And like I said, you're going to have to know the exact numbers. So for this question, the correct answer here would be option B, no. So the maximum height of a load that is measured from the ground will be 4.3 meters. Because this question is talking about a load that would exceed 4.3 meters, obviously the answer will be no, because that is prohibited. In this diagram, we can see a simple representation of that, right? Remember, this is a heavy motor vehicle, but again, the restriction will also go for a light motor vehicle. So this heavy motor vehicle will have a load on the top, right? And the height of the load will be measured from the ground. So we can see that the height from the ground to the top of the load in this case will be exactly 4.3 meters. So that is actually allowed. The minute it goes beyond 4.3 meters, that's when it will be prohibited. I hope this diagram makes things a little bit easier to understand. Now question 4. Which of the following is true? Is it option A? The load on your vehicle must not exceed half the height of your vehicle. Is it option B? Hatchbacks are not allowed to carry a load. Or is it option C? Both A and B. So if they say both A and B, what they mean is both A and B are correct. So let's look at our options given. Let's look at option B. Option B says hatchbacks are not allowed to carry a load. Now obviously we know hatchbacks can carry a load, therefore option B will be incorrect. And if option B is incorrect, then that means that option C will automatically be incorrect as well, because option C says both A and B are correct. And that leaves us with option A, which will be our correct answer. Now option A states that the load on your vehicle must not exceed half the height of your vehicle. Question 5. In terms of a light motor vehicle, what is the maximum width that your load is not allowed to exceed? Now remember, in this question they're talking about the width. They're not talking about the length or the height. Is it option A, 2 meters? Is it option B, 1.2 meters? Or is it option C, 2.5 meters? Again, this is the type of question that requires you to know the exact units, right? So in this case, the maximum width that your load is not allowed to exceed will be 2.5 meters. So if you have a page and pen with you, then please write these numbers down, as these are numbers that you're going to have to memorize. Now this diagram will help us to understand this a little bit better. So this diagram will indicate to you the width, right? The maximum width of your load. So we can see that this is a load, right? That is loaded on top of a vehicle or the roof of the vehicle. And we can see that it is exactly 2.5 meters. Now remember, this is a light motor vehicle. And the minute this load exceeds 2.5 meters, it will be considered illegal, and obviously that will be prohibited. Now, another thing that you should take note of is that on either end of this load, you can see that there are red flags. Can you see that there's a red flag at this end and there's another red flag at the other end? If you are carrying a load, you're going to have a red flag in order to warn other road users of this load. Question 6. In terms of a goods vehicle that weighs more than 12,000 kilograms. Now look at the sign in front of 12,000. That sign actually means more than. What is the maximum width that your load is not allowed to exceed? Now in this question, they are not talking about light motor vehicles anymore. They're talking about goods vehicles. And to be specific, they're speaking about goods vehicles that weigh more than 12,000 kilograms. So what is the maximum width that your load is not allowed to exceed? Is it option A, 2.6 meters? Is it option B, 1.8 meters? Or is it option C, 2.35 meters? Now again, this is the type of question where you will have to know the exact units. So the correct answer for this question will be option A, 2.6 meters. Question 7. What is the furthest that a load may project to the front of the vehicle? Is it option A, 260 millimeters? Is it option B, 300 millimeters? Or is it option C, 235 millimeters? The correct answer here would be option B, 300 millimeters. So let's look at this diagram. We can see this is the side view of a vehicle, and we can see again there is a load that is carried on this vehicle, and that load is accompanied by a red flag. So let's look at the front of the vehicle. We can see that the maximum distance that a load may project to the front of the vehicle will be 300 millimeters. Obviously in this case it is well below that, but if it does go beyond this, then that will be prohibited. Question 8. What is the furthest that a load may project to the rear of the vehicle? Now remember, this will not be the same as the front. So is it option A, 0.8 meters? Is it option B, 30 centimeters? Or is it option C, 1.8 meters? Now the correct answer here would be option C, 1.8 meters. As you can see in this diagram, the maximum distance that the load may project to the rear of the vehicle will be 1.8 meters. And again, in this case, it is well below that. Question 9. What is the purpose of a blind spot check? Remember, this will be very important once you get to your driver's license test. So is it option A, to help you pass your driver's license test? Is it option B, to ensure that there are no vehicles or obstacles in areas not visible to your mirrors before changing lanes? Or is it option C, checking your blind spot is not important when on the public road? Now this is very important when on the public road, because remember, if you're going to be changing lanes, you're going to have to be 101% sure that the lane that you're about to turn into is clear. So the correct answer here would be option B. The purpose of a blind spot check is to ensure that there are no vehicles or obstacles in areas that are not visible in your mirrors before changing lanes. Question 10. What are the first two things you must do if your vehicle breaks down on a public road? Is it option A, stop your vehicle on the right lane and step out of your vehicle? Is it option B, phone your boss and inform him that you will be late for work? Or is it option C, move off the road if possible and switch on your hazard lights? Now with option A, obviously the right lane is known as the fast lane, and you cannot go stop your vehicle on that lane as you're going to disrupt the flow of traffic. And with option B, you can't assume that everyone is working and that everyone has a boss, right? So obviously the only correct answer here would be option C, you're going to have to move your vehicle off of the road, obviously if it is possible, and you have to switch your hazard lights on in case, right, it is at night and other vehicles might not see your vehicle. Question 11. What is the penalty for driving without a valid learner's or driver's license? Is it option A, you are allowed to drive on a public road without your learner's or driver's license? Is it option B, there is no penalty? Or is it option C, a fine or imprisonment? Now the correct answer here would be option C. You will either get a fine or you will be imprisoned. Now remember, you have to drive with a valid learner's or driver's license. Remember, in the case of a learner's license, you have to drive next to someone that has a valid driver's license. You cannot drive alone in a vehicle. But I'm sure we all know of someone that drives without any license at all. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Let's get to the next question. Question 12. What is the minimum legal tread depth for a car's tires? Is it option A, 1 millimeter? Is it option B, 5 millimeters? Or is it option C, 8 millimeters? Now the correct answer here would be option A, 1 millimeter. Question 13. What does a red circle around a number on a speed limit sign mean? Remember, I always emphasize this whenever I go through road signs. So let's see if you were paying attention. Is it option A? It indicates a hazard ahead. Is it option B? It indicates the minimum speed limit. Or is it option C? It indicates the maximum speed limit. Now, a red circle around a number that is found on a speed limit sign would indicate the maximum speed limit. Question 14. Who has the right of way at a four-way stop? Is it option A, the vehicle that stops first, or if two vehicles arrive simultaneously, the one to the right? Is it option B, the person with the faster vehicle, or is it option C, everyone should leave at the same time? The correct answer here would be option A. Question 15. What is the purpose of a yellow line to the left side of the road? So this is basically what that will look like, right? Is it option A, to decorate the road? Is it option B, it indicates that you are allowed to park here to have a smoke break? Or is it option C, it marks the edge of the road and separates the emergency lane from the main road? Now obviously option A cannot be correct because the line is not there to decorate the road, and with option B, it's not there to allow you to have a smoke break on the side of the road. Correct answer here would be option C. It marks the edge of the road and separates the emergency lane from the main road. Question 16. How far from a pedestrian crossing are you allowed to park? Is it option A, 300 centimeters? Is it option B, within 5 meters? Or is it option C, no closer than 9 meters? Now the correct answer here would be option C. You are not allowed to park within 9 meters of a pedestrian crossing. Question 17. What must you do when approaching a flashing red traffic light? Is it option A, treat it as a stop sign, stop and proceed when safe? Is it option B, don't bother stopping as it's not a solid red light? Now what do they mean by solid red light? Obviously if the red light is on permanently. Or is it option C, stop and don't leave until a traffic officer instructs you to do so? Correct answer here would be option A. Question 18. When is it illegal to overtake another vehicle? Is it option A, if you drive a slow vehicle? Is it option B, on a blind rise, curve, or when there's a solid white line? Or is it option C, at night? Correct answer here would be option B. Question 19. What does a yellow traffic light mean? Is it option A, you must speed up? Is it option B, prepare to stop if it's safe to do so? Or is it option C, you must immediately stop? Obviously, if you're driving and the traffic light is illuminating a yellow light, you're going to have to prepare to stop if it's safe to do so. Question 20. What does a yield sign mean? Is it option A, slow down and give the right of way to other traffic? Is it option B, you should speed up? Or is it option C, you must immediately stop? Correct answer here would be option A, you have to slow down and give right of way to other traffic. Remember, if you are driving and you see a yield sign, however, there are no cars in your way, then you are welcome to drive through and carry on your way. However, if you are approaching a yield sign, you're going to have to slow down. And if there are other cars in your way, then unfortunately you will have to come to a complete stop. We have now come to the end of the video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far to the end of the video. Remember, if you found that this video was useful for you, if you've learned new things, then please give the video a like and please subscribe for more learner's license tips. If you're writing your learner's license soon, I want to wish you all the best. Trust in your preparation and trust me, you will do exceptional. So as always, take care guys. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy guys.